Well, all right. Hallelujah. I had a minute ago, a fellow brother in Christ sent me a question, and the question was, Pastor Dowell, what is the difference between heirloom seeds and other seeds, and why should I purchase heirloom seeds? Well, let me explain to this real quick. Okay, I talked earlier about how that the majority of the foods that we eat are genetically modified. That means that they carry no nutritional value whatsoever at all. And because they carry no nutritional value whatsoever at all, and your body is starving for vitamins, nutrition, minerals, amino acids, all the thing in the soil that the Most High, when he made this thing, that he planned on to keep us, to keep us healthy. So we have a chemically induced society, meaning a very toxic society. And because our society is toxic, including the foods and the earth in itself, we destroyed the soil of minerals and nutrients and vitamins that our body needs in order to function properly. And that's the reason why the majority of the Americans today are disease-ridden, have cancer, arthritis, many other diseases that can be attributed because of the wrong nutrition and eating wrong, and especially eating poisons and consuming that in your diet continually, like sugar and excessive amounts of starches, refusing to get the proper amount of exercise, and drinking good, clean water, such as distilled, and getting a reverse osmosis machine. And I'm not talking about that machine that you go up there in the Walmart or some of these other stores and you buy a water and let a light hit it and it runs through it and you think you have reverse osmosis. No, you don't either. You're just buying what they call the public sewage water that they filter through their process, and they load down with fluoride chemicals and all these other drugs and everything else that has to be filtered through because look at America. We're disease-ridden and sick people, and a lot of people throw a lot of stuff down the toilet, not to mention what's going into the toilet itself. And so when you go to the municipal water supply and you're drinking that mess, you're not drinking what you call quality, good, clean water. Out here we have springs. But anyway, let me get back to the question here real quick. Okay, now, so the seeds that you'll normally buy, if you're going to some of these stores and you'll buy seeds, and they're not heirloom, what they are, they're called a hybrid seed. And what a hybrid is kind of like flowers that are called annuals. That means they're only designed to produce for that year and that year alone. That means you can't take a piece of fruit from it. Like, let me give you an example. In our greenhouse, we grow tomato plants 30 feet tall, and we've been doing it consecutively for the last 12 years. 30 feet tall with fruit all the way up the vine. And so if we could take one of our tomatoes and we can put it aside and we can let it dry out, and then we can take the seed from that tomato and we can freeze it over until the next year, and it will produce again the next following year. Or we can let it dry out and just sit out and not plant it, and it will produce the next year. Those are heirloom seeds. A hybrid seed coming from a hybrid plant, you can't do that with. If you try to save those seeds, they will not germinate the next following year. I don't care what you do, because they have been chemically induced. They're called hybrids, and they're there not for your nutritional value. They're there to fill up your gut. They're there to produce high yields. They're there to resist what they call certain diseases that they, the certain bugs would normally get if you would plant other seeds. Now, growing with heirloom seeds, you have to put a little bit more labor into it, and you have to become pretty much an almost expert gardener to know what to do when you see certain rots or certain diseases that could be in the soil or in the air that is not, because the soil is not conditioned right, to know how to discern what's going on and then what proper action you should take. So there go your two differences between heirloom seeds and hybrid seeds. Now, my suggestion is that you get heirloom seeds. You get on here and find some heirloom seeds produced by some company on here, mainly an organic company. So that way you can actually save the seeds and grow from year to year to year to year to year. You need to learn how to make some good compost because you have to build up your soil in order to get good organic food. And that's what we do here at Straightway. We're a bunch of people that have come together in one mind. And we produce gardens every single year. And when you heard me made on my video earlier, that we have people ranging from 82 to 2 years old, and not one of us are on prescription drugs. Not one of us are under any type of medical care. None of us have what you would call health insurance, because we have salvation insurance. We have blessed assurance. Hallelujah. So, we trust in the Most High, and he seems to be taking care of us pretty good. But, there's a lot and there's much to be desired, because there's so much that has been withheld from you. You wouldn't believe the amount of wisdom and knowledge that are sitting there in them graves that they try to pass down to some of our ancestors years ago, but we totally ignored it because it was foolish. Why? Because the industrial revolution of civilization was coming in, and we didn't think that, hey, we didn't want to get out there and till the soil, work in the ground and stuff. But I tell you what, we ain't got no choice now. You're going to have to go back to it. And if you don't learn, you're going to starve. And that's all there is to it. And once that belly hit that spine, you're going to really understand what I mean then. But it's my hope that that doesn't take place. It doesn't have to take all that you would be wise enough to hear wisdom when it's being spoken unto you, and then you can start charting your course and taking the proper action. You're also going to need to get around or get closer and have fellowship with those who are sincere Israelites, those who are very sincere about serving Christ, the Most High. And that's the truth, because we're going to need each other in these end times. So I talked about the two different types of seed here, and I went off in a few other different areas because I'm a preacher. That's what I do. But anyway, hope you have a good Sabbath. The King is coming. I hope I was able to help give direction. Have a good night.